Hello everyone. Today we will see about MIMO with a short discussion. We will see the contents, the motivations for the development of MIMO systems, MIMO antenna configuration, a design criterion of MIMO systems, and an important concept that will be MIMO OFDM. And at last we will see the conclusion. In the aspirations of a system designer, we will see high data rate in which to achieve the high channel capacity, and as well as we will see the quality and also the real life issues. This diagram shows the MIMO antenna configuration in which it uses multiple transmitting antennas and multiple receiving antennas. The next we will see about fading. It is the rapid fluctuations of the received signal strength over short time intervals and or travel distances. It is caused by the interference from multiple copies of the transmitter signal that is arriving at the receiver with different timings. Rapid changes. The three most important effects of the fading will be rapid changes in the signal strength over small travel distances and the changes in the frequency of signals. And third one will be the multiple signals arriving at different times. When these things are getting added at the receiving end, it will create interference. It leads to fading. And the next you will see a small diagram about the multipath propagation in which the transmitter receiver faces the loss in the transmitted signal by the obstacles that will be placed or that will be near in between the transmitter and to the receiver. Next, we will see about the classification of a small scale fading, in which it is classified as a fading and as well as Doppler spread. Again, the Doppler spread is classified into the same fast fading and slow. To the different signal paths between the transmitter and the receiver, it corresponds to a different transmission times. It leads to a delay in that received signal strength. The different signal paths between a transmitter and receiver corresponds to a different transmission times. Hence, the multiple copies of a signals that will be received at the receiver with different. The signal on the shortest path, typically the line of sight signal, will be received first on those on the longer paths. The direct effect of these unsimultaneous arrivals of the signal causes this direct effect on these unsimultaneous arrivals of the signals causes the delay spread. Next, we will see about the effects of delay spread, which causes ISI. In which it leads to loss in our transmitted signal. Otherwise, the channel shows a frequent selective fading and may suffer with severe ISI. In the next, we will see about the Doppler effect, in which the receiver and transmitter are moving with the frequency shift of del f is equal to V by lambda cos theta, and the V is the velocity and lambda is the wavelength. This maximum shift in frequency will be calculated by Fm is equal to V by C into F suffix C, where C is the speed of a light, and by this based on this formula we will calculate how much of the signal is getting reduced. But based on that calculations, we will see the variations in a frequency that will be observed with a graph, and these variations will show that how much after the transmission over a fading channel we will receive a power spectrum that is spread according to the image. To mitigate the Doppler effect, we have to use low frequencies, and we have to transmit the signal in burst so that the channel is constant during the burst. Include training sequence, that is error sequence is going to be added in the channel. Next, we are going to see a special concept of FDM, that is OFDM, orthogonal frequency division multiplexing, and it is a special kind of FDM. The spacing between the carriers are such that they are orthogonal to one another, and there is no need of a guard band that has been used in frequency division multiplexing. The guard bands that has been used in FDM, it provides, it takes or it consumes large amount of bandwidth. Those things will be reduced by using orthogonal frequency division. We will see an introduction of orthogonal frequency division multiplexing, and which it uses closely spaced orthogonal subcarriers. That is, there is no need of a guard bands, and hence the bandwidth occupied will be minimized as compared with FDM. And the data is divided into several parallel data streams or the channel for each subcarrier. The subcarrier is modulated with a conventional modulation scheme such as QAM or PSK at a very low symbol rate, and which the OFDM has developed in a popular scheme which is used in digital video and audio broadcasting, wireless networking, and as well as WiMAX. In the next, we will see the comparison between FDM and OFDM. In that FDM, it uses God bands in which it occupies more number of bandwidth. In order to reduce that bandwidth, we are going to avoid that God bands in OFDM so as there is orthogonal between each signals. Next, we will see about the basic OFDM system in which in the transmitting end it uses IFFT and at the receiving end vice versa it uses FFT. These things will be carried out to get that to avoid that overlapping of signals in which it is orthogonal to each. Seeing the block diagram of OFDM, we will see the features of OFDM. The symbols are modulated into orthogonal subcarriers and modulation is done by using IFFT, and FFT will be performed at the receiving end, and the channel equalization is used to equalize the losses or by using a training sequence all the losses that is going to be occurred will be reduced and we overcome that predefined. Next, we will see the advantages of OFDM in which the multipath relay spread tolerance can be achieved and immunity to frequency selective fading channels and efficient modulation and demodulation, high transmission bit rates, flexibility, easy equalization, high spectral efficiency, resiliency to RF interference, and lower multipath distortion will be the added advantage of OFDM. Next will be the disadvantage of OFDM, that is PAPR. Peak to peak average power ratio is high. ICI between the subcarriers is high, very sensitive to frequency errors. Next, it needs a linearization by the use of high power transmitting amplifiers, sensitive or carrier frequency offsets, more complex than the single carrier modulation, high synchronization accuracy, distortion problem due to the large peak to mean power ratio. We'll see the applications of OFDM. It has been used in digital audio broadcasting and video broadcasting, high density television and wireless LAN networks, hyper LAN, and as well as IEEE 802.16 broadband wireless access system, that is WiMAX, wireless ATM transmission systems, and as well as it has been used in UMTS terrestrial radio access, that is universal mobile for telecommunication system. And last, we will come to a conclusion, that is MIMO systems are getting closer to the landmark. At the same time, they provide reliable communications, different architectures available for use, and developing the efficient network protocols will be the main approach.